Strange mood of art.
You call that radio?
Makes coherent sense.
I should call that radio TV. Who would have thought that we would make it to 5 years? But yeah, 5 years this Saturday. We're going to celebrate. We're going to party. 5 years since the podcast began. And we're going to do it in style. We're going to have Gordy Duncan, the Fresh Prince of Pitlochry, kicking things off. We're going to have Unholy Frankenstein, the act between two legends, Joe Bowen and the Mighty Sparrowhawk. We're going to have the up-and-coming synth-pop trio Brenda, who are on tour with Franz Ferdinand at this very minute. We're going to have all the way from Ireland, the incredible underground legend that is Jinx Lennon, flying all the way in. And the headliners, well, everyone's a headliner, but last on is Hugh Reed and the Velvet Underpants, who I believe can join me now. And we're going to have as many of the acts that are playing on Saturday on the show tonight. So yeah, I'll put a ticket link in the comments. But yeah, still some early bird discounted tickets available. It's at room 2, right next to Queen Street train station. And it finishes at 10 o'clock at night, 7 till 10. But we will have an after party for anyone that can handle the scandal. And I believe we can go to Hugh Reed right now.
Hi,
the legendary Hugh Reed.
Greetings from the Isle of Bute, just down the road from Rossi.
So, it's been a while since you've been on here, but because obviously we talked about Bute. You've been on the show many times, but it was mostly during lockdown. And I'd never been to Bute at that point. And since then, I've now been to Bute twice. Once for the festival. Twice for the festival.
Well, the good news is that Bute Fest next year will be a week earlier. You know, we haven't played the last 2 years because we've been up at Belgium. But Bute Fest is moving forward a week. So I'm really hoping that we'll be on it, you know, this year. And because I felt bad because I missed yourself, Mark, and I always enjoyed Bute Fest before then, you know. So hopefully we can all meet up, and hopefully you're on the bill as well. I don't have anything to do with that, but that would be great.
Yeah. I don't know how we got in. I don't know who picked us last time. I think it was just an email. It was an email or something. But we're looking forward to Saturday, and it's a cracking lineup. Do you know any of these people?
Yeah, well, I've known Joe Bowen from Unholy Frankenstein for over 20 years. And I've known the Mighty Sparrowhawk. I've known him going way back to Spamborsky. That was probably, you would have definitely been a nipper. You know, that was right back to about 1989.
I think if I'm right in saying that was potentially they were the first ever band to play the Archies.
But they were.
Yes.
They probably were. We played the Arches, strangely enough, the opening week. I remember we collapsed the stage. I remember that. But
what do you mean you collapsed the stage?
Well, it was so funny. I was doing my usual 6 to 1. And you see, they had just erected, I don't know if it was a temporary stage, they erected a stage. And I remember I was, as usual, jumping about. And it got to the climax of 6 to 1, you know, where I usually sit in front of the drum kit. And next thing, the stage fell down and the amps and that started sliding towards me. And the drummer just carried on. It was a brilliant climax, honestly. And couldn't have been better staged. But I remember that was about when the Arches opened. I remember they had, it must have, as far as I remember, it was 4 or 5 nights entertainment, you know. But I think we were never asked back after that. So, but I remember that happened. But Spamborsky, I think that was 1989. We played with them. That was the year my band started. And there used to be a place called the Clyde Cavern. I think it's like an Indian restaurant now. Just that, you know, the bridge over the Clyde, just a Carlton Place, you know, along there. So I remember we played with them.
So what was it like back then compared to now? How was the Glasgow scene? How did it smell?
Well, the Clyde Cavern did have a unique smell. I remember that. But yeah, I was thinking, you know, one thing I've found don't know what you think, Mark, but I think the money stayed the same. You know, it used to be, there was a certain amount of money we used to get going way back, like, you know, the Halt. And there was Leon's Waterfront. That was a really good bar just across the Clyde. You know, there was a half ship in front of it. And then there was a Dial In, places like that. But I seem to remember the money being about the same as it is now.
It's not changed at all. Apparently, for example, we supported quite a big touring act a few years ago, and we were honoured to play. So money wasn't an issue. It was just like we wanted to play. But I hadn't even asked about money because, you know, I was going to do it anyway. But yeah, it was 50 quid, and that's the standard support. And somebody told me that was back in the 90s. It was £50 to support a touring act. So it's not changed at all. And obviously, it feels like everything else is going up. You know what I mean?
I know.
Electricity goes up, the price. In fact, Jinx Lennon, who we'll be speaking to, well, I think we'll be going live to Ireland a little bit later on. And I think Jinx Lennon will be calling us live from his work. But he actually did a song quite prophetic about 12 years ago. I remember him performing it at the 13th note, and it was The Last Days of Cheap Food, it was called. And yeah, it just seems like, you know what, touring acts are putting up the price of tickets because their touring sound engineer needs more money. The T-shirts, the printers that make the T-shirts are charging more money because the cost of ink is going up. So everyone's charging more, but yet the musicians seem to be to get the raw deal at the end.
I know. I suppose in the old days, I used to sell CDs and stuff.
They're going to say drugs.
No, well, no. We used to get donated drugs. People, I don't know what that was. People used to come up and give me drugs.
Yeah.
But the after gigs and stuff. But no, we used to sell. I suppose people still sell CDs and stuff. You know.
I think I still buy CDs. I don't use them though. But if I see a DIY gig, an independent gig, you know, especially if you see somebody coming from down south and they're not playing to a very big venue or whatever, I'll definitely buy a CD if I've enjoyed their work and maybe get them to sign it.
Yeah, well, I'm the same actually. I listen to CDs in the car. My new job, I have to drive a bit, and I've got a thing that I listen to CDs in the car. I try and listen to vinyl in the house, but inevitably I do listen to Spotify. But I totally hate Spotify. You know, for
I
obvious
just noticed
reasons.
that you're on Spotify. I didn't even know you were on Spotify until I noticed that you used the audio on Instagram to Carnict, the classic.
But I'm on Spotify. I work through that Emu Bands, who I've actually found quite good, to tell you the truth. But you know yourself, I mean, it's an old conversation about how little money artists are getting paid through Spotify. You know, what can you really do these days? You know, you just do it for the love of it or whatever, you know.
Well, that's it. I tried to boycott Spotify myself for a few years and it didn't work. So,
but the only thing I can't understand is why haven't artists got together and just created an alternative to Spotify? You know, I mean, even major artists,
because they're too skint.
But you think it would even be in the interest of major artists to do that?
Yeah, but the problem is the major artists are actually getting paid a lot more than us. The major artists have done a deal with the major labels. So the major labels have done a cut of deal so that their acts are looked after, and they're not getting 0.001 pence. Because obviously Spotify know that they need to have the big guns in there. So for an alternative to work, you would need to have Michael Jackson, the Beatles, Prince. I'm just naming.
Right, sure.
Look at this. Spider Stacey from the Pogues retweeted our gig on Saturday at Room 2. Look at
that's
that.
Good.
That's great. That's great. So we've got the Pogues legend. Maybe he's going to be there. We can't confirm or deny that the Spider Stacey will be at the gig or not. But it seems to be friends with Jinx Lennon.
This is me name dropping, of course. But I think I told you that I did share magic mushrooms with Spider Stacey in Edinburgh. Just I don't know. It must have been 20 years ago. The Pogues were playing in Edinburgh, and myself and the legendary character Cannon. I don't know if people remember Cannon, Davy Spears from the Gorbals. He managed a few bands, but he managed us. People used to always say, why is your manager called Cannon? And I used to say, because he's always been fired. But, but anyway, he guessed where the Pogues would be staying. And so we went along to that hotel. That hotel, like just at the bridge, you know, at the Waverley, you know, in Edinburgh. And sure enough, there was the Pogues at the bar, and we sat all night with them, and they got out the magic mushrooms. Shane McGowan wasn't on that tour, and Joe Strummer was there. So I was chatting to Joe Strummer. So that was a total legendary night that night.
So you're taking magic mushrooms with the Pogues and Joe Strummer? Yeah,
but what happened was we left.
Hold on.
Right.
The name drop.
You call that radio?
We're celebrating 5 years of the name drop, and I think that we've maybe got a winner. Taking magic mushrooms with the Pogues and the Clash.
But what I remember was we got the 8 o'clock commuter train back to Glasgow out of our faces. And well, I was just concentrating and trying to appear normal. And Davy Spears, he proceeded to, I don't know, he slept right across the corridor that was totally packed. And then the guy came along, you know, to get the ticket from him, and he started, which was typical. Anyone that remembers Davy Spears, he started arguing with the guy. The ticket collector, because he didn't even have a ticket. And then I think he got chucked off the train. It was something like that. I just pretended that I didn't know him, you know. So that was how it all ended up. But I remember I was talking to me about Alex Harvey and all that, you know, to Spider Tracy. I'm sure he won't remember it, but it was definitely very memorable for me.
And was the mushroom strong?
Well, I remember the thing was we drunk a lot. We were drinking a lot, and was it Jerry Conlon was there? Remember the Guildford Six or something?
Yeah.
Because I remember I was quite, you know, there was a few people there, and then he said, I was speaking to this guy, and then he says his name is Jerry Conlon from the Guildford Six, and I was thinking like the Dave Clark Five and people like that, you know. But then I worked out who the Guildford Six were, you know.
Did you say that to him? Did you actually say that to him?
Well, I think I said it to him in jest.
Oh, right, okay, sorry, right, got you, okay. Who we got in the house? Hello, Ali Grant, hello, Lou Rogerson, hello, Epi, sorry. Hello, Jigsaw Tiger, and Lou saying that she loves a hard copy, although mainly streams music. We favour vinyl over CDs now that we're getting on a bit. The vinyls, there's something nice about the vinyls. If we're going back to nature. And it is Magic Mushroom season. So we are going back to nature.
I don't bother with any of that these days, honestly. No, I'm glad to keep that well behind me, you know.
Butte must be a good place for it as well. I think we've got Joe. I think we've got Joe here.
I hope Joe's there.
Joe, can you hear us?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't see you. I don't know if you've turned the camera off or not.
Hello, I'm having trouble getting my cam.
That's all right. We could just talk to your voice if you can't get it on. Joe, do you want to introduce yourself for people who don't know? Oh, he's gone. Well, maybe. I'll tell you who it was. I'll do the introduction. So it's Joe. He's having some technical issues, but Joe is the what is it? There's the creator. The creator, I think he is. The being or the creator. So I think all I know is the creator and the being. They're two members of Unholy Frankenstein, and I believe that Joe is the creator, and I believe that the Mighty Sparrowhawk is the being. And they're absolutely smashing it now, man. It's obviously I've known Joe for many, many years in various different bands, but the new stuff that he's doing with Unholy Frankenstein, completely different, electronic backbeat.
Well, the Mighty Sparrowhawk's got a really good pedigree. As I was saying earlier about Spam Borsky, they were a great band. And I remember I first met them, it was a tribute night to Mark McGinn. I think that was going right back to 1989.
Hold on just a second. I think we can go live to Ireland.
Yeah, here we go.
How's it going, mate?
That's right. Not so bad. All right there.
Hugh, have you met Hugh Reed? This is Jinx Lennon. Do you know each other?
No, never met. I was watching your videos though. Really good.
All right. Come on, looking forward to the show.
It's
It'll
going
be
to
good.
Great night.
Yeah.
Give you a headstand, hopefully, you know.
Yeah,
Sure.
man. It's been a while since you played. Obviously, Jinx, I've seen you play Glasgow.
I
Kilmarnock
played
as well.
Barrowlands last year.
The Barras.
Yeah, with the Barrowlands, with Mary Wallopers, the Irish
No
boys.
way, man. I think I was
Yeah.
I was at the gig and I didn't know you were supporting. I think I turned up too
Yeah.
late.
There might have been 2 gigs I was on. What night was I on? It might have been on the Friday or Saturday. I'm not sure, but yeah, there was 2 gigs anyway, so I might have missed me in the 1 gig.
Oh man, I would have. I'm gutted about that. The Mary Wallopers were brilliant though. What a night! I think it was. I think it was a night. Was that the night? Was it May or something?
No, I tell you what it was. You definitely didn't do it. I was down in December the
Right,
12th
okay,
to the 16th last year.
I caught them. I caught the spring one, a spring gig that I did at the Barras. But yeah, so you played the Barras. You played Kilmarnock as well. You know what I mean? Maybe not as famous as the Barrow ones.
That's all good. I don't play in Glasgow anyway. Like, it's great to be back anyway. Any excuse for a gig over in Glasgow is great. Or Scotland anyway.
We're just talking about about the streaming services, and to be honest, Jinx Lennon is one of the few acts out there who does take a stand against the streaming services. You'll find a few of his tunes on Spotify, but am I right in saying that you use the tunes on Spotify to hopefully get people to go to the Bandcamp? And if you want to hear the album, you need to buy the album. You can't even listen to it in Bandcamp. Yeah,
Bandcamp's good. Like, it is helpful. Like, Spotify is only for. Yeah, I don't find Spotify helpful. It's only helpful in a very small way, but money wise, definitely not. It's a no go. Like with Spotify, really, it's a pain in the ass at the end of the day, you know.
And what's where are you at just now with your releases? I'm just going up to.
I'm just heading to work. I'm with my young ones there. They're having a bath, so I'm just jumping out for 2 minutes and say hello and goodbye.
Well, okay, we'll see you on Saturday anyway, man. If you're in a rush, I appreciate you take the time to jump on.
No
Looking
bother.
forward to the set on Saturday.
Good to meet you, Hugh.
Right, nice to meet you.
I've got none
Saturday.
attacks. You sent me a video. What was the video you wanted me to play? Would you like to?
Oh
introduce
yeah,
it?
it was a band from Cork. They're called None Attacks. They were going in the 1981. It was from Irish TV. Do you know that band Stump? There's a connection there, but yeah, it's great. The lads are.
They were a great band. Stump were an excellent band.
Yeah, but this is the original. This is before that. So it's a good energy video. You know, it's just from Saturday morning TV in 1981. I remember it going out, and so just one of the one-off singles that was, you know, it still stands the test of time. It's still raw as hell.
Brilliant, Jinx. We're going to play that. Just thank you very much, Jinx Lennon. We'll see you on Saturday, mate. All right.
See you Saturday, lads.
See you Saturday.
Okay, catch you. Okay, this is as requested by Jinx Lennon himself. This is None Attacks, White Cortina. Brilliant stuff. That was None Attacks, White Cortina, as selected by Jinx Lennon, who will be performing this Saturday. What time's Jinx Lennon on at? Let's see. He's on at 8:30 till 9:10, just before.
Right. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing him. You know, I've been watching the videos and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I should have actually put on a Jinx Lennon video, because I did ask him. I was actually meant to introduce one of his own tunes, but I think he just wanted to give just a shout out.
I watched this video about pushing the patients around or something.
Yeah,
it was quite good.
I think that's a true story. Is it the music video or the
music? I watched the live performance, but the music video was quite good for what it is.
Yeah, there's actually my favourite one is "You Must Forgive the Cunts," but I'll put the patients around actually. Pushing the patients. Is it the live? I think it may.
I watched them both, but I like the. Well, I like them both.
Go for the music video. Go for the music video. Because that's literally what I think Jinx is a way to do just now. Push the patients around and.
Is that not what John McMustard does? Does he not work with
I don't know.
patients?
It's similar stuff. I think we've got the legendary Joe in the house. Actually, let's just hold off the now for a second, and we will bring Joe into the mix.
Hello, Mark.
Joe, finally on You Call That Radio. I appreciate it, man. I've been trying to get you on the show for years. Can you hear me?
Is that a mic, Joe?
I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Nah. Okay, I'm going to just I'm going to sort out the technical things. Let's hear a song from Jinx Lennon himself. This is called Pushing the Patients Around, as requested by Hugh Reed. You can see them both this Saturday at Room 2.
Hey you! Rockstar! You're the trolley, yeah! Who's my bandit show? Whenever you're ready, good mind yourself. Alright! See the boy in blue uniform. Thought he was the big rock star. Well, he didn't get too far. He's walking in the hospital. Heard him once on the radio, shedding his bed up, giving it loads. Oh, the mighty then they go, pushing all the patients round. I push the patients round. What's wrong with pushing the patients round? You might be glad to see me when your time comes round. Someone to take you from A to B when your legs become your enemy. And as I push the patients round, my head's a library full of sound, writing down words behind my crown, pushing all the patients round. Yeah! Hey you! Rockstar! You're the jolly, yeah! Hey, Bruce Springsteen's asking for, will ya? Come on yourself whenever you're ready now. Oh, the bony fellow with that long face. Don't you recognize his face? Once he thought he owned the place, I guess he pissed it all away. Someone's on that TV, giving it loads like John Gotti. Now he's back behind the trolley, pushing all the patients round. I push the patients round, and as I push the patients round, my head's a library full of sound, writing down words behind my crown, pushing all the patients round. And as I push the patients round, the patients' heavy stories that are so profound, stolen strife and amazing life, when they push the patients round. The SHOs, they look to me, they see no mystery, just another boy to down, pushing all the patients round. Yeah! Woo! And as I push the patients round, I will hang in the background, skirting boards and dowel cracks. I will like a spider bouncing back. Then I go home to the wire and wood, fill my instruments with veins of blood, then shake my head off down the woods, and it's back to pushing patients round. Yeah! Pushing the patients round, pushing the patients round, pushing the patients round, pushing the patients round. Pushing the patients round, 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 pushing the
great stuff. Jinx Lennon, Pushing the Patient Round. He's, like you said earlier on, he's got some tunes on Spotify, but he just puts most of his albums on Bandcamp and puts the odd wee tune up on Spotify. But what a back catalogue. And I've been lucky to share the stage with him a few times over the years, and it's great to have him back in Scotland this Saturday for You Call That Radio's birthday. And we're going to try again to go live to Joe. Joe, can you hear us? Can you see us? No, I don't think. I don't think Joe's.
Is Joe making a statement here about refusing to talk?
This is a statement against social media. I don't know. I don't know, but Joe is here, as you can see, but I don't think he's actually connected. I don't think he's clicked the link for... He can't hear us. I don't think he can see us either.
Well, I sent him whatever. I sent him something through Facebook there. Well, I send the link again.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to play Unholy Frankenstein, which is Joe's band, in the meantime, and we'll just try and resolve this technical issue. But I think that it might just not be on a screen. I don't understand exactly. This is the first time this has happened. But I don't think he's aware that he's here. So we'll go for that Unholy Frankenstein song right now, and we'll come back in a little second. And it's good to kind of play some of the songs. It's nice to play a song from everyone that's performing. So let's see, we've got Unholy Frankenstein. What tune shall we go for? Train to Japan at the venue in Paisley. I think we'll go for that. Great tune. This is the Train to Japan by Unholy Frankenstein. We'll go on about 7:30 this Saturday. Enjoy. Call That Radio. We're streaming live to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter tonight, or the artist formerly known as Twitter. And that was a little clip of Unholy Frankenstein, who are playing our birthday party this Saturday. They're on early at 7:15, actually. And Gordy Duncan is kicking things off at 7, bang on 7 o'clock sharp. Joe, I think, still having technical issues. I don't think I could see us or hear us. So I'm trying to problem solve it, but I can't really.
You don't have his phone number. I was checking if I had his phone number, but I don't have it.
I don't know. We'll just leave that just now.
Sure.
I think we'll just leave it just now. Do I have it? Maybe I could phone him over the next one. I'll maybe give him a wee call after they play the next song. If he was getting right into that, was good. You can see the song performed in full this Saturday at Room 2. YouTube listens to vinyl in the car.
But, that's my guitar. That's the band's guitarist. I've invited the band, but they've all
shat it.
They don't like to be associated with me too much.
It's a great band, man. It's definitely, I think, the tightest I've ever seen the pants.
Absolutely.
Tight pair of pants.
Well, I'm the major member in the pants, you know. But no, it's a totally excellent band, musicianship wise, you know, absolutely. So,
and how long have, obviously you said you started in the 80s, but how long has this incarnation of the band been going?
Well, Darren, who you'll know, he's actually been in the band since 2001, which I find incredible, really. But then Davey's been in and out of the band, the bass player, since that time. But Magoo came on board about 2 years ago, and then Chris has joined in the last year or so. But knowing them all, we all used to work in. Were you ever in Northern Rock? You know, the community music project in Royston.
I thought you were going to say the bank.
No, I was a manager of this community music project up in Royston, which was great. It was a great time. That was from 2000 to 2009, 10. And then the powers that be decided not to give us any more funding. But so much happened. That's how I know Joe Bone. Joe used to come in and record. And we had a recording studio with lots of different music classes and all that all over the north of Glasgow. So that was a really good time, and that's how we all met each other.
I used to work in a call centre in Royston around about that time.
Is that right? Aye.
That is right. And
so whereabouts in Royston was that then?
It was the Rosemount Workspace, behind the flats.
Oh yeah, right. Well, we were in the Rosemount school. We were in the basement of the school, you know.
So yeah, it was actually quite an interesting one, because one day we were at work, and they said, "Does anyone want to go home early to watch the Old Firm game?" And obviously we all said yes. And then the next day we came into work, and there was just a big sign up saying, "This company no longer exists," and there was newspapers were there, and that's what the day that I learned just to say no comment to the newspaper. And I stupidly made a comment to a newspaper earlier on this year, and I get stung by that again. Just say no comment if a newspaper ever asks you a question. It's what I've learned. But yeah, they basically took they took a bit of the truth and then just kind of moulded it. It was nothing bad, but just they said that I hadn't been paid for 3 months and I had a family to support. And it wasn't true. I mean, I didn't have a family to support. You know, I was just a...
You had a band to support, you know.
I didn't even have a band, man. Apart from, you know what I mean? As long as I had my soap bar, I was fine. And, you know, it was a cheaper time, man. Greg's it was 40 pence a sausage roll. You know, you could probably get a pie and 2 sausage rolls for £1. Because Greg's came in and tried to, you know, they undercut all the bakers and just offered everything a lot cheaper. And the only one that's really survived is McGee's, which I think McGee's is still in Royston. So shout outs to the McGee's bakery, still keeping it real, still fighting the good fight against the evil corp of Greg's, the baker corp that is Greg's. But yeah, they just said, I think that I was with an agency, so I get paid weekly. So I was owed a week's wage or something, and then I got it anyway. But they put me in the front page staring at a looking sad. I hadn't said that to me for 3 months and a family support, and then I was getting messages from people saying, "Where's your, I didn't know you had a family."
Sure.
But yeah, so don't ever speak to the newspapers. Don't speak to the newspapers. Don't speak to the police.
There was a lot of strange things went on in Royston. I can tell
Royston
you that.
Vesey.
Very public of
Tell
Royston.
me about Royston.
You know?
Did people make Royston Vesey jokes, like League of Gentlemen jokes, because it was Royston Vesey?
Well, we were a local music centre for local people. But I remember there was the huddle. Did you ever see the huddle up there? That was the sort of it was the, you know, it was a bar, but obviously it's very much for Celtic area up there. And I remember the huddle was taken over by some new people, and when it was taken over by the new people, they sacked the old bouncers or something. So the very first night it opened, the old bouncers came down and the whole place was set on fire, you know, and it was just like obliterated. And I found things went on in Royston that you never read about. Well, you seem to have get quoted in the paper, but things happen. I remember one time we set up this community concert, and it was at the bottom of where the steeple is. And so we've gone in early and set up the community thing. And then we were going, how come no one's come in? And we went outside and found, in the meantime, we were now in a crime scene. It had been taped off by the police. Someone had been stabbed outside. So that was why people weren't coming in, because it was now a taped off crime scene. But there was a lot of things happened. But it was all done in the best possible taste. It was all
With stabbing people in the best possible taste.
No, well, I don't know. Just so many bizarre. Well, for me, one of the things I found is I've been born and raised in Glasgow, but I'm from the south side, and I went up to Royston and Milton and Provenmill, and I was going, how come I've never been to these places? But then when I was actually up there working, I realised there's nothing here. Yeah, obviously there's decent people, very good people, but other than that, there's nothing that would bring you up there, you know?
We played a gig in Milton, the Milton Music Festival, with I think Kyle Faulkner for The View and a couple other bands, and that was the first time I think I'd ever been to Milton, and that was good. That what you said, good people, but there isn't. Whoever runs, it's a community group though that ran that, and whoever they were, I can't remember off the top of my head. It will come back to me. What a great job they were doing, by the way. Just
there was great youth clubs. We worked like with Royston Youth Action, and there was different youth. You were covered porcelain and all that, and there was great youth clubs, and there was youth workers doing great work and volunteers. But of course, everybody was struggling for funding, you know. And then of course they stopped. That was why I moved to China, because when our funding was stopped, I just felt totally disillusioned. So I just thought, I kind of thought, I've got to get out of here. I just felt disillusioned, you know. But
yeah, there's just no funding anyway for it. In fact, do you know what? I actually got the knockback for funding. And can I just take this a moment to say, when everyone else is slagging the funders and blah, 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 I'm like, well, I used to do that years ago. But then I realised I've never actually applied for funding. So how can I turn around and say it's all cliquey when I've never applied? So you need to fill out the form to do it, but I'm really bad at filling out forms. So I filled out a form with the help of a friend, Josephine, shout out to Josephine, and we'd built up the connections in Mexico, and we were going to take Scottish musicians to Mexico and the Mexican musicians to Scotland. We had a venue over there with musicians, it was all ready to go. And I got the knockback. So now I can say that all funding is cliquey, it's all bullshit. I finally filled out a form, and what did I get? Nothing. Nothing but abuse.
Famously, your man McGarvey, and by the way, I back this up, Mark. He said you do more for up-and-coming musicians in Scotland than Creative Scotland do with zero funding, and that's true. You give people a platform, you know, and it's not condescending or anything, you know. Yeah,
but we need the funding so we can pay the artists, right? Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because like I just end up having to take I just have to take a financial risk on the gigs, and then I can't afford to lose money. Well, it's not even about. It's not like trying to make money. So like this gig here right now, I'm looking at ticket sales and I'm going, I think we're going to break even. Everything's going to be all right. I'm not trying to make any money off it. You know, just split it between the bands, buy everyone around with profits or whatever. But there is just
make sure that you get your cut, Mark. You deserve it. You're doing all the hard work putting it together.
I don't want a cut. I just don't want to lose. You know what I mean? That's what I think. I think that's what puts off a lot of the good promoters is that you end up. You know, you need to be working a full-time job to pay for the gigs.
I mean, this is one of the reasons. Well, you know, the job I'm doing just now is going to finish the contracts at the end of March. But
can you talk about what you do as well? I don't want to ask because I don't like asking people what they do in case it's a mysterious thing. Or can you talk about it? Or would you?
Yeah, I can. I was working with the refugees down here, which I loved. I felt so lucky to have that job. And then it was the usual funding thing. They stopped the funding there last September. But fortunately, because I work for kind of a Guyland Butte Council sort of thing, then there's a new thing called the Levelling Up Fund, you know. So
I just loved your face there.
Well, you know, there's so many caveats around the whole thing. There's so many. I have to be careful what I say. So many caveats.
Yeah.
But
was the Levelling Up Fund? Was that not the thing that the Tories brought that into?
The Tories brought it in
to give a nod to the North. It was a wee nod to the North.
Yeah, and that
was part of that was going to be the super fast train that didn't even go into Scotland, but technically it was going to help us get to England faster.
Yeah, well, fortunately, a Guyland Butte Council got some money for that, and then so my job. Believe it or not, I'm a supervisor. I'm surprised at that, but they didn't give me a pay rise. Just kept me at the same rate. But then, so they've got some part-time workers in Lochgilphead and Dunoon, and then over here, you know, just in Rossi, and then I'm sort of the supervisor. But again, it'd be better if they gave longer-term funding. It looks as if the Labour crowd, as far as I can work out, I better be careful what I say. It looks as if the Labour crowd are not going to carry on funding it. I don't know all the ins and outs. But I find with these funding things, what tends to happen is it's always funding like for a year. So you just get the thing moving. You get the thing moving, then it's time to finish it. You know what I mean? So.
Well, you don't just watch what you're saying because you are involved. You might rely on funding. I can say nothing to do with you. Let me take you off the screen. I can say it's nothing but a scam. Start funding the real projects. Fucking making people fill out forms, man. Get a grip of yourselves. Just give us money, and we'll make good things happen. I'll put on the gigs. Hugh will look after the refugees. We'll just get all these people to do workshops. We could make it. We could do better. Sorry, Hugh. I cut to you.
Yeah, sure.
Hugh, sorry, don't agree with me. Don't agree with me. It's nothing to do with you.
Well, no, I'm very pleased that the jobs that having these jobs here I've enjoyed, and I do feel it's valuable. You know, genuinely feel it's valuable. But it just I just sort of it's always this periodic funding that I find, because that's what happened when I was the manager of the music project. You were always going from year to year and blah blah blah. What's wrong with just setting something up and keeping it going? And it would. Financially, it would make more sense, because then people have to spend so much time fundraising and all that as well, you know. And then another thing is, it's not good to build people up to knock them back down again. You know what I mean? But
it needs to be yeah. Because what is the point in sending someone good to do good work for 6 months and then you just leave? You're leaving whatever that might be.
And it takes you a while what I find is it takes you a while to get things moving. So it takes you 5-6 months to get things set up. So
young people are going to put up walls, and they're going to take a while to get used to you, and they're going to, you know, they've got to build. You've got to build a rapport. So,
and that's it. It's things like identifying the centres, identifying the people to work with, you know, and so on. And you know, so you get all that done, and then you begin to get things moving, and then it sort of finishes. No, but you deserve funding, Mark. Absolutely.
Oh, I tried. I filled it. Like I said, I filled it my first form, and I get the knockback. So that's it. I'm raging now. I've always said, you know, if you're not filling out the forms, well, how can you say it's a clique? How can you say that it's broke? And now I've actually got the knockback. Now I can say that it's fucked.
You know Bonnie Prince Bob, of course. You've interviewed Bonnie Prince Bob.
I think he just commented there. Yeah, he's here. This content.
He's got a lot to say about all that.
He certainly does have a lot to say. Check out his show, by the way. What the X, Bonnie Prince Bob.
Yeah. Follow his. I don't use X and all that stuff, but follow his X and follow his YouTube and all that.
Yeah, that is. I don't know. I've kind of don't. I think he was doing it every day at 6 o'clock, and now he seems to be on a lot though. He's in. I sometimes catch him in the morning.
I've been through. Obviously, he's Edinburgh based. I've been through his studio. He seems to have a routine of doing it on. He has his morning. He has his morning rant.
So he's saying knocking you back is the biggest joke ever. Right before you start tagging Creative Scotland, it's the British Arts Council you need to go after. It's because I'm just thinking that'll be him typing away saying Creative Scotland. Fuck it, it's British Arts Council that knocked me back. I've still not applied for Creative Scotland, but that's coming next. I'm actually going to put a poll up. Should I apply? Should I apply for funding again? Because it's kind of put me off funding again because it was a lot of work to get there.
What you should do is you should try and get that wee clip of Darren McGarvey on Question Time. That in itself should, well, in a fair world, that should have got you funded.
I know, but it's not. They want you to fill out forms. And also, I don't think Darren's the most popular person when it comes to funding because I can't remember what he did, but did he not do a tour called Not Funded by Creative Scotland or Not Supported by Creative Scotland, or he was going to do it?
Well, actually, being honest, you know, most of the it's like us doing our bands. We've never had any funding. I've never had any funding.
Never.
Or anything.
Gyro Babies has never had any funding, not once. Not once. And then all the people that do get funding to put their gigs on, they never invite Gyro Babies to play. I don't think. Not that I'm aware of anyway.
Yeah, sure.
We don't really fit that one. Probably, I mean, I suppose in a roundabout way, I'm assuming that some of the festivals we played for probably had some public funding. But yeah, never. Jackal Trades, mother band, never had any funding. You call that radio, it never had any funding. We just don't get it. But I've just put a poll up.
Of course, the major funder in the old days was the Dole. That was who funded the bands in the 80s and 90s. Maybe it still does, but Dole money's even less than it used to be, you know.
I think it's not just the fact that the money's less, it's the fact that they've turned looking for a job into a job itself, and the fact that you've got to do so many hours, you've got to prove, you know, they've actually got you working or making up lies every day. So, it used to be that we just let musicians get stoned and write tunes and not ask too many questions of them. And that's why you got so many great bands coming through. It's tough to be working class, especially at least, we're older, so we've had the opportunity to see things from different angles, have experiences. But to start out just now on the dole, I mean, that's how Gyro Baby started. That's what kind of how the name started and stuff. It was unemployment. And I just don't know if you could do that now. I don't know if you could.
As I say, the first 8 or 9 years I was doing my band, I was just on dole. And I remember they used to be, well, they called it Enterprise Training ET, but we used to call it Extra Tenor. But I remember being in there and using the photocopier to photocopy posters and stuff. And then the guy disciplined me for it, you know. And I'm going, but this is my enterprise. This is what I'm trying to do. This is the only thing that you could do for me. Allow me to use a photocopier. And he banned me. So I was thinking, you know.
The Tories, did they not? Well, it was when they said that it was unviable. Just stop doing art. It's unviable. Get a job in IT.
But actually, the biggest UK industry, or one of the biggest, is the entertainment industry. You know, the whole, as an industry.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, like, why would you come to the UK unless you like? Apart from you've got nature. Here, the nature's good. It is good. Sometimes I think we exaggerate it a wee bit, but it is good. I've been to other places now. I can say it's good. But apart from that, I mean, why would you wouldn't come? You wouldn't want to check out the nature in the winter. So why else are you going to come? The royal family, they want to take a picture at the castle. They say that, you know, a lot of people that like the royal family, they say things like they bring a lot of tourists in. But the same people that say that they bring a lot of tourists in are the same people that hate foreign people. So it's an interesting one.
But I used to
My
say...
point is, my point was I got distracted there, I was reading a comment, sorry. My point is that it's the music scene. We've got the UK, Glasgow up here. It's the music scene is phenomenal. And will it be like that forever? If there's just all the tourism money, all the multi-billion, is it £1 billion? How much is the UK? You continue and I'm going to get the number.
Yeah, well, what I was going to say is, you know, when I was in China, I used to say to my friends in bands, you know, like my English friends, and I say, we are the ambassadors. You know, the reason, but why do Chinese students and people want to go to UK? It's not because of the government. It's not because of David Cameron or Boris Johnson or someone. It's because of music. It's because of and you know, maybe movies and stuff. It's because of like train spotting, stuff like that. You know, it's because
of job seekers allowance and bad weather that creates, because obviously that's why, you know, I love other countries' music, but you'll notice when you go to a warm country that the music's not quite as good. 6.7 billion, and I don't know, that might just be England and Wales. 6.7 billion. So why does everyone laugh at you? Why do people laugh at you at the door, or why does your friends or your family laugh at you when you say, I would like to do something with music?
Or even with art, you know, video or something, more generally, you know.
Yeah, art, yeah, no, I'm not slagging the painters. France gets a lot of tourists and they've got a more cutting opinion on royalty.
I think France is much more generous in giving out grants.
I think the joke was the cutting opinion on royalty.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But yeah, well, everyone that goes to France, we've never played Europe. That's something on the bucket list. Love to do next year, and we nearly had it all sorted before the world went mad.
Well, I remember going years ago. I used to go and see Circus or Chaos. You know, they'd come to Glasgow Green and stuff. And it would be like people on motorbikes on tight ropes and all that, and then there'd be fire eaters, you know, sort of dancers, and then you find out they're funded by the French government. That's what it was like. Well, this is 20 years ago, you know, but you wouldn't see that sort of thing being funded by Creative Scotland or whatever.
Fund the fire eaters. Someone needs to fund the fire eaters. I'll tell you what, I've actually got friends that are fire eaters. They never get any funding.
The fire starters as well.
There's fire starters. Fund the fire starters. I think someone's funding the fire starters with all the amount of old buildings that seem to mysteriously go up in flames over here. But yeah, everyone that goes to France, especially, always says they know the way that they look over you there is different class. You're given a meal. You're paid properly. You've got somewhere to stay, and people are nice to you. And then you play a gig in Southampton.
Maybe it's good for the art and good for the music that you get treated like shit.
I think it is though. I think
the music's good.
I think it is, but can we not have a middle ground?
Yeah.
You know, just maybe somewhere in the middle. It is the shite weather. It is the shite government that does create these good music. But I mean, it's hard to create when you're just living above. I mean, you can create. I mean, to be honest, I think in my worst days, writing lyrics is easier for me. It's kind of therapeutic, I find it. But to actually get to the point where you're demoing songs and having to pay for recording and stuff like that, apply to CS and demand they give you the lot. No one deserves it more. So I put the let's see how the poll's gotten on. We'll have a wee look. So you can vote in the poll. If you're watching this on Facebook or Twitter, then you can't vote because it's only a YouTube thing. And if it's 100% yes. So I just keep applying for funding until they give me something. Maybe that's all I can do.
I don't have much success myself, but if you needed a hand, Mark, I could look over it for what it's worth.
Yeah. Yeah, why not? Let's just do
Yeah,
it. I mean,
if you were putting something in, send it
Yeah.
to me and I'll look over it.
yeah. We need to maybe get like a kind of an alliance, a coalition of skin artists to just look at each other's forms and try and get something through. Love Hugh. Hi in the Velvet Underpants. I actually called you that earlier on in the bio. Have you ever made?
I have been called.
hi?
I have been
Hi.
called huge in the Velvet Underpants before.
Great performers. Looking forward to YCTR 5th year at Room 2 in Glasgow this Saturday. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Unholy Frankenstein's tuned in to listen. Didn't have. Yeah, that was Joe. Couldn't get the camera, the audio, and vice versa. No worries at all, Joe. I appreciate you. I appreciate Joe making the effort to try and come on the show, because I've been trying to get Joe on this show for absolute years. So what we'll do is maybe the next time when we're off air, we'll have a wee tech check together,
Sure.
and then we'll.
No, Joe's got a lot of stories to tell.
Oh no, absolutely. So looking forward to that. So, Hugh, just go. What we're talking about work there. What is the worst job you've ever had?
The worst job. I worked briefly for Strathclyde Regional Council. It was awful. It was an office job thing. I think I was 21. I just stuck it for 3 months. I couldn't take it. That was the worst job. But other than that, I've actually had quite good jobs. Community music worker, and then a teacher in China, and more recently these jobs here, community jobs. So in recent years, I've managed to, get positive jobs that I enjoy, and then I've still managed to keep the band and that going. So.
Do you want to know my worst job? Do you want to know my worst job?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Selling giant calculators to shopkeepers in Calendar. Nightmare. It's not a joke. It was my real job. It was my job. It was one of those. I don't know if they're still a bit, but basically what they do is they kind of scam you by saying I'm a job in marketing with what's the word they use for up to £100,000 or something like that, and then they make you at the interview. You think that you've did well at the interview. They give you the job. It's commission only, and then you, unbeknown to you, you've joined some kind of like a cult. I would say a cult. It's
Right.
like a kind of brainwashed cult, like a kind of pyramid scheme going on, where it's like, I think your team leader's getting a cut off of your stuff, and if you say anything negative, like, for example, there was one day where I made negative 80 quid because I was stashing my stock, because you couldn't carry all your stuff about, at a mechanics, and the mechanics stole some Disney books or something. So you've got to eat food. You've got to smoke cigarettes. We don't have to smoke cigarettes. I chose to smoke cigarettes. You've got to eat food. You've got to pay your train fare into this random place. And it was Calendar. I remember the shopkeepers of Calendar were particularly rude to me. They were just like screaming at me to get out of their shop. And then when I came back, minus 80 quid, they said I should stop negging people out. Get away from him. He's a negghead. This is actually what they do. These things still going. I noticed there was a Reddit thread about them recently.
Well, I saw a documentary about things like that. And basically, it's all about scamming from the workers. Basically, the manager is making money from the workers. That's what the whole thing is.
Yeah, the main manager, the team leader above, is getting a little bit more, just enough to make them not quit their job. But
you're actually the customer, because you're buying the stuff
exactly
to flog,
Yeah, it didn't last long there. Commission only. It's tough. Colin says, start a GoFundMe for a Creative Scotland bribe. I mean, is Creative Scotland even going to have money next year, the way things are going? I don't know what happened with that. They went back. I'm sure.
They were going to stop the money, but I've heard the money's kept on going.
Is that not the biggest political trick in the game? It's what they do is they say something like, I don't know what's happening with the Labour, with the pensions getting, the heating allowance getting cancelled. Did they overturn that? Let's see.
No, I think that they haven't. You know, that's still going to. The pensioners are not going to get their money, but as far as I understand.
Okay, is it means tested? So they were defeated. No, but they were defeated in a vote, but they've doubled down on their decision to cut it. So I thought what they would do is, so this is the political trick that I noticed quite a lot, is they say something controversial like that, everyone gets pissed off, and then they go, do you know what, you can have, and everyone thinks they've just won, but they've just spent months of their energy fighting for something they already had, and it seems like, I think it was Tony Benn, I've seen Tony Benn doing a good thing talking about that before, so you're just wasting all your energy getting back to where you were, so that it feels like real progression sort of never really happens. So, with regards to, let's get back to the music, because we've got this big gig on Saturday, and I think what I'd like to do is play one of your tunes, just for maybe people that aren't familiar with the back catalogue of the Velvet Underpants. So, there's too many songs for me to choose, but I decided to go to 61.
Fair enough. That was the first one, but it's still maybe one of the most popular.
I think there's something really cool about how this video's aged.
I know, but it's still a quality video, if I say so myself.
You certainly can say so. Let's play it just now. This is
filmed in Heritage, mostly in Heritage, on the south side.
I didn't know that, and I was actually in Heritage not that long ago. Interesting fact. Brilliant. Okay, well, this is 61 by Hugh Reed, the Velvet Underpants. Let us know. In fact, maybe what we'll do is we'll maybe do a competition to give away a couple of tickets for the gig on Saturday as well. I'll think of a question, or Hugh, you think of a question, and we'll maybe give away a couple of free tickets for Room 2 on Saturday.
Right.
So, yeah, you can pick the question.
I'm from Glasgow. Do you understand? I'm from Glasgow. I'm a Glasgow man. I went to see my team play just the other Saturday against the old enemy. Who that is, I'll no say. But I'm telling you, it wasn't much fun. They got thrashed 6-1. It was 6-1. 6-1. So I decides to drown my sorrows. Do you understand? So I heads up to Surrey Heat, just up at the Barrowland. But after a while, I started losing command. After a while, I could hardly stand. So I decided it was time I was gone. Before I gave it, Technicolor yawn. So anyway, I'm heading along the road, when suddenly, I shot my load. 6 fans, the other persuasion. I look at the state I'm in. One of them sees me, he starts to laugh. One of them starts strangling me with a football sailor. I'm telling you, it's no fun. Get your head kicked in, 6-1. Take 6 of you. Next along comes a policeman. Out jumps a policeman. Where you been? Where you going? What you been doing? The radio's in. You've been in trouble before. Then he opens the back door. I looks in the back of the van. There's 5 more of them. They want a chance to stand. Six months later, I'm charged with breach. So I gets in the phone line to a famous law firm. When I got to the court case, the legal aid lawyer says I'm in nutcase. And he's representing 5 others. Do you understand? One legal aid lawyer representing 6 straight men. What chance did I stand? It was 6-1. Arm in the bar L, in a very small cell. You feel more dead than alive, but you're sharing a cell with an R5. I'm telling you, it's a living hell. 6 in a very small cell. It's no fun. It's 6-1.
Who exactly are these Hugh Reed and the Velvet Underpants?
The strange mood of our time.
You call that radio?
Makes coherent sense.
You call that radio making coherent sense since 2019. We're going to celebrate the 5th of October 2024, 5 years of this stuff. And Hugh Reed, who you just heard there, will be last on at 9:25. Before that, there'll be Jinx Lennon, there'll be Brenda, who we've not actually spoke about. We're hoping we're going to get Brenda. Oh, wrong one. We're hoping we're going to get Brenda on the show, but I know that they're rehearsing tonight, so I don't know if they've got the reception to do so. Brenda are great though. If you don't know, it's kind of three female synth punk. Riot Girl.
Have you got a video of them or anything?
That's what I think so. I mean, I think that they've got an album out, but I was trying to find an actual music video, but we maybe find a live version of them doing something. Yeah, let's find a wee bit of live video. If the sound's all right, we can just play it. We'll give it a go. But they're going to be great. It's the right thing for the gig, and I like the way it's flowing. We're going to start with Gordy. We'll play a wee Gordy song maybe in a wee bit as well. Actually, it's the wrong one. But yeah, so we're starting off with the silky vocals of Gordy Duncan, and then we'll move to Unholy Frankenstein, and then we'll have a bit of this.
Already said wait. Okay, let's do it.
That's Brenda. They've got an album out on Spotify, so but it doesn't seem to be. I can't find any of their actual music videos, but yeah, that was just I think some phone footage there of them playing. But yeah, looking forward to that. Oh, you're muted. You're muted, you. You're muted. I'll unmute you. You've chose to mute yourself. What is happening to the technical?
No, I was going to say sorry about that. I was saying, how long have you been doing your radio podcast?
5 years.
No, but did you not do the radio before the video?
Yeah, 5 years ago.
What was that? Only 5 years ago? I seem to remember you interviewing me on something that went out on the internet or something about 10 years ago.
Right, okay, aye, that wasn't, yeah. I tried this stuff before. I tried it, yeah, ages ago. There used to be, so where did it start? Gyro FM was a thing. I can't remember. I don't remember how we broadcast that. Oh yeah, I had a show on, it was KA Radio, it was in Ayrshire. was it an online or was it FM? I'm not sure, but I had a radio show there, and it was called Gyro FM. And every week we would take the venue I was working for at the time. They would give me about 40 quid to pay for me and my guests to go to Kilmarnock and record the radio. And we'd get.
I remember I was on something in the city centre there, quite near St Enoch's.
Ah, right, okay, so that was still Gyro FM. So what happened is that I stopped, I no longer had my job. I lost my job. And then, so that obviously he wasn't willing to
I was hardly aware that you ever had a job apart from that
well,
one.
I do work.
Yeah.
It's just, it's mostly freelance though. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, I'm right now. I'm available. I'm basically unemployed now. Well, I've got this, but I'm basically. I mean, it's not really unemployed. It's just that people just offer me work, and then I take it if I can, and then I sometimes do too much. I take too much on, and then right now I think I would just. I've got an album to finish, so I think I'm just going to be skint for a month or two and just try and get the album finished and try and focus on the podcast and the YouTube channel. But it's one of those annoying things because you need to pay your bills, so you have to take the work and then you do the work, and then as a result, this suffers, and then you get less patrons and you get less support. So it's a vicious cycle. So I'm trying to sort it out. But yeah, what you're talking about is so I used to work for the venue. And the venue would pay me to go and do the radio show because we were promoting at the time the venue, because I was the booker for the venue. So it was kind of a promo thing. And then when I lost my job, the radio station still wanted me to do it, but I wasn't going to go to Kilmarnock for it. So we found a way to broadcast live from Dixon Street Studios. There he is, actually, just right on cue, calling with Gyro FM.
Right.
So Colin's got recordings, and I have actually seen them. He played me a little clip a couple of years back, and this is old. You're talking 12 years old.
Yeah, I remember you had interesting guests,
Yeah, I mean, it was good. I really can't remember much about it. I remember it had been fun. And then after that, we tried to do another thing called Pet Horoscopes, which was on Pet Horoscopes was a show. It was on, and it's actually a real thing now. There is actually, because when I Google Pet Horoscopes,
it sounds an interesting concept.
Well, I mean, I wasn't actually doing Pet Horoscopes, but I just thought it was a funny thing. And then now that is a thing, I think you can get like pet readings, like spirituality stuff. I don't know. Right. It's becoming a thing. I predicted the future. I should have actually did real Pet Horoscopes. You know what I mean? I could have bought Twitter if I did that. But
right,
Pet Horoscopes, so it was short-lived. Pet Horoscopes was short-lived, and then there was Well Sound, which was another thing that we streamed. It was Sound Thief helped me do that. We used to stream that live from a flat in the south side, and that was quite good as well.
Sure.
But it was just a lot of work, and we were just streaming to like I think our own. I don't know, was it Mixcloud or something like that? Something like Mix.lr, I don't know, something like that. But yeah, it was actually 5.5 years ago, if I'm being honest, that we started this. But
right.
The birthday would have been was right in the middle of festival season. So I was like, well, I should actually celebrate that, but I'm too busy. So it was the first guest ever was the late, great Reverend D. Wayne Love, Jake Black of Alabama 3 fame.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
And then obviously he passed away before we launched it, so we actually had to hold on to that till December. So I think the first 3 official guests that we put out was Brother Ali, American hip hop legend,
right?
Layla Josephine, and I think Gordy Duncan was the first 3. So, and that was about, give or take, about 5 years ago, in a couple of months out from 5 years ago. And then obviously when lockdown happened, we just went straight into it with Captain Hot Knife. So we'd already kind of had You Call It Radio. We'd already maybe had about 12 audio podcasts out. And then we kind of focused on this and forgot to really take care of the audio podcast, which is, if you're listening to this in the audio podcast, that means I've taken care of you. That means I have sent this audio to Mako to mix and master, and then I've uploaded it to the audio podcast, because sometimes it doesn't really work though, because some of it's quite visual we do here, for watching videos and stuff like that. But yeah.
But I think a lot of the
next question
interviews you'll have will be historic. People look back on them. And
Yeah,
they'll be there
that's why I've
10
been
or 15 years' time, you know?
Yeah, I've kind of unlisted most of it because when I looked, I was actually making some of it public. Actually, for anyone who's a YouTube member, I've started making a whole bunch of the older videos now available for members only. So if you're a YouTube member, you can just hit the join button on YouTube, and which is a kind of different thing from Patreon, because what this gives you is access to videos that I.
Well, for example, that interview with Jake from Alabama 3, that must be very well regarded.
Yeah, I mean, I got lots of good feedback from it because it was, it was all very sudden, and it was probably his last ever interview. So
right,
and also I held back to it out of respect for the family. But then,
right.
But then when Alabama 3 were playing in December, I asked, and everyone, the band were delighted to, and the family were happy for me to release it. And yeah, a lot of people said it was really good because it was, he was on good form, and you can check it out. It's on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube as well.
Sure.
But yeah, as I suppose there is it's actually quite sad. There's actually quite a few people that I've interviewed that passed away. I suppose it's the law of averages when you do this many shows. But Dominic Harkin as well. Dominic Hawkin as well. That was sad. He did famously did the East 17 Stay Another Day song. He worked with East 17, but he did stuff with Boy George. Tribe Called Quest. He did Can I Kick It by Tribe Called Quest. I mean,
Is that right? Yeah.
So I interviewed him as well. He's passed away with Kathy McCormick, who you probably know. She was an amazing, powerful East End woman who just fought against austerity, or before it was called austerity, whatever. What was the equivalent in the 80s? What did they call austerity? Did they have a name for fucking everyone over back then?
Poverty, possibly. I don't know.
Yeah, it was just good old-fashioned poverty. This was
poverty,
called...
in those days it was just called poverty,
Now it's called austerity. And I've noticed that Labour said that there'll be no return to austerity. So they're rebranding it, obviously, because they're not actually doing anything about the poverty. It's just... So what does that mean, no return to austerity? What do you think they're going to call it? Tough decisions, I think it's called.
I know that we're going to make the tough decision. Yeah. We're going to make the tough decision of, we're not going to penalise extremely rich people. We're just going to fuck over the pensioners. Yeah. That's a really tough, difficult decision for them to make. Very tough one, that,
Well, we are in the era of tough decisions. And I mean, to be fair, I suppose, technically it's accurate because it's tough. Tough luck. Jigsaw Tiger says you're asking great questions. It actually feels like I'm getting interviewed now. Have you got any questions for me?
Well, you've done it well, especially on the 5th anniversary.
It is the 5th anniversary.
I always say you've done a lot. You kept the whole Glasgow music scene and Scottish more generally, but especially Glasgow throughout the lockdown period.
Do you know what? I don't like watching any of my stuff back. So if anybody wants to volunteer their services to watch certain episodes, like for example, my birthday one in 2020 that lasted 9 hours, and the Hug Me Nay ones, I had a quick look at them the other day, and I had to turn it off immediately because I was wasted, and I'm terrified.
But as I say, I remember, sitting here because I live on the Isle of Bute. It was as if Glasgow was just coming into my front room during lockdown, and the Burns nights have been brilliant. They've been excellent.
Yeah, I've enjoyed them as well. We actually need to get one on the go for January. We need to get a venue for January and do another one.
We're recording of this song, Can You Show Me? In fact, we'll be playing it this Saturday, and it's Can You Tell Me How to Get to Jamaica Street? And I'm reading The Slave's Lament because, we started to write this song. It's kind of a bit like Sesame Street, but it was about Jamaica Street, the Kingston Bridge, Tobago Street, all that, in Glasgow. And then of course, you do have to think that they're called these names because it was to do with slavery and tobacco and all that and import and stuff. So then I just had the idea of, because one of my favourite Burns poems is The Slave's Lament, which was written from the point of view of how to, of being a slave, in Virginia, taken from Africa. And then, so we've just put it over this this thing. It's a ska song, so it's a Burns poem over a ska. I'm just trying to show the jolly side of slavery. You know, the upside of it. You know.
Can you give me a lyric? I think that Bonnie Prince Bob's already seen it. How to Get to Jamaica Street will be massive. He
saw us play it in Edinburgh. So
how did Edinburgh go? Were you doing the Fringe? Did you do a couple of gigs at the Fringe? Or?
Yeah, just through it. What's the name of that bar? I always forget the name of that bar. A bar in Edinburgh. We're playing a bar in Edinburgh for the Fringe, you know. So Bonnie Prince Bob came along to see us there. It's just that I just read the poem, being honest. But the chorus goes, can you tell me how to get? Can you tell me how to get to Jamaica Street? Just sort of goes on like that, you know.
YCTR was a lifesaver during lockdown, says Ali Grant. Capture Work sessions were truly epic. They were really good.
By the way, you get brilliant sound there. You know,
I know, it was amazing. Yeah. It's hard to believe that we were doing that absolutely live when all your Glastonburys and everybody they pre-recorded their live streams. But that is a credit to Mackie and the crew at Capture Works. It was expensive. Don't get me wrong, it was expensive to do, but pretty much everybody chipped in. So I think it broke even every time.
Right.
Apart from the Christmas one, that was a Saurian. That one cost me. But yeah, they were good. I would do them again. I mean, there is a slight chance we might be able to stream Saturday's gig as well, but I don't want to promise anything for two reasons. One, I want everybody that can go to the gig to be there at the gig, and two, the last time we tried to stream from room 2, there was technical issues, so I don't want to get anyone's hopes up. And
sometimes there's problems with the mix, you know, the live mix, but the Copperworks gigs were good.
Well, that's it. There shouldn't be. So, like for example, let's just have a look at what I mean. If you look at some, like so let's go for YCTR live room 2, or is it Building a Spring? Building a Spring. So so here's one. Okay, let's go for. Okay. Let's. So, I mean, that's not bad. It's not as good as Capture Bus, but we'll take that. We'll take that. You know what I mean? Then there was another one. It was dodgy. How did that go?
Was it Bomb Scare? I remember seeing or somebody, one of the ska bands.
Yeah, Bomb Scare played it. I think Bomb Scare played pretty much every single one of them. They loved it. They just kept coming back. But yeah, there was the sound at Room 2 is okay when we get it working. But I have been working hard in the background to make sure that there's no repeat, because the last one, the sound was just so bad that we just had to cut the stream. And then we didn't have enough audio to even save most of the footage. I think maybe Doghouse's set saved, but I don't think we got DOS. I don't think we got a very rough version of the Twistettes, and we got what was this other one? Gasp was no sound for Gasp's set for some reason. So we've looked at the problems. We're trying to address it. We did try and do St. Luke's the other week, but what the good thing is that Mackenzie's got a new a switcher thing, which means it records things automatically. So if the internet is bad, we should have good footage. So we should have your set. Well, fingers crossed.
Yeah, I've got a thing about, people turn up at your gig and then they use their phone and they film a couple of songs and then they upload it to YouTube. I generally hate that because I just think it doesn't. Nothing against the people doing that, because I know they're doing it with good intentions. I know that, but I mean, because generally the sound, our phone's compressing the sound and everything. So I don't think it represents bands well. That thing,
Are you looking at the screen, Hugh?
Yeah.
That's you call that radio, taking phone videos and uploading them to the YouTube Shorts. Look at that. So what the thing about YouTube Shorts is, so what I try and do is take, if it's something that I'm enjoying, is take a 60-second video, because YouTube Shorts are 60 seconds. So vertical, 60 seconds, and
That gives a good wee flavour, you know,
flavour,
for someone that wasn't there.
Yeah, because I wouldn't want to film a full song on my phone. One, I can't be arsed really, but secondly, when a full song's up there, then I worry that somebody could see that and think it's meant to be that way. But I think when you know it's a clip, you know it's a clip. You know that it's not meant.
Yeah, well, 60 seconds sounds about right to me, you know, because, like, first of all, I mean, even bands that I like, I mean, I feel I put so much effort into making a video. So, if it, like, say 61, you showed the 61, you know, video there that we put a lot of effort into making at that time. That's what I want people to see. I bet if they stumble across somebody as, I don't know, the back in the cools or something, you know, and I'm doing 61, you know, then it doesn't capture the song. You know what I mean? But it's okay for a wee 60-second clip that gives an idea of what that gig was like. Just a wee.
No, I agree as well. It's like I think when you get someone that does the full song, you do worry that someone's going to see that and go, "I've seen them live," and obviously it's not. Especially what you do, Hugh, when you're very interactive. So it's like, without giving any spoilers away, it's like you're part of it.
And then sometimes I feel it's giving away my wee trick. You know, I've got a wee surprise trick, and I want people to see that properly. I don't want the ideas given away and it's given away in a real half-arsed way. You know what I mean?
That's why I'm very careful when I'm trying to describe what it is you do without giving any of your secrets away. Because it's a lot of it is due to the element of surprise. Obviously, if you've seen it before, the surprise is gone, but it's still funny because you get to react to other people being surprised. So it's still cool. Epi says, why two shots are all right to get the vibe of the gig. Yeah, I think also as well, I know that especially sort of, I would say maybe, okay, it's not an age thing actually. I think that some people, you know, when you've actually played the gig, it's quite nice to see a picture or a quick clip to know that you did it. Because sometimes it can be a wee bit disappointing if there's not one picture or not one. I don't really want pictures or clips either, but it's nice to have one because you can maybe make a kind of rocky montage of all the videos one day.
I suppose I do like the feeling of, you know, the day after a gig, you go onto social media and you feel that was a really good gig. And then you get feedback that it was a good gig. You know, that's good, you know, because people will be commenting, you know, the next day you go on Facebook or something, then people go, oh, that was a great gig. And then they put up some daft photo and a couple of wee videos. And in a sense, that's good. It validates how you felt that the gig went yourself.
Yeah, I mean, when I say that I'm quite glad that the clips exist and photos exist. I also don't watch any videos of me. If I've just performed, I can't watch the video for at least a year, maybe 2 years.
I'm a bit like that as well, being honest. You know,
I mean, I was there. I know what happened. I don't need a camera to lie and tell me.
Well, one of the things is
I was shite when I know I was good.
Well, I always see my mistakes, and usually there is a lot of mistakes, you know. So I see my mistakes, so I just think, right.
But it's just the audio is no right. They've not quite figured out. I mean, it doesn't sound as bad as it used to back in the day, but a phone camera. Although it just shows our age that we say phone cameras, you mean your camera. You know what I mean? All phones have cameras now. It's like, oh, your camera phone. But when I never watch it the next day or for about a year or two, because then you can just look back and go, I was shite then, but I'm all right now. But I think sometimes it can take the buzz off it. It can make you think. It can actually, you think it went well, and then you see a rubbish video, and you think maybe the whole thing sounded like that, but the camera's not a fair reflection on what people experience. But even if it is accurate, I don't want to know if I was shite. I would rather stay in my bubble that I was okay. It's not like I walk away from gigs going, that was perfect. I don't think I've ever did that. How do you react to? I just try and avoid thinking about that in general. I think that's
I don't know why. I kind of cringe when I see myself a lot of times.
Yeah, I get that as well. So, but what I mean is that how do you deal with coming off stage and thinking about a gig? Do you analyse it? I'm trying to get into your mind. Do you do a post-match analysis of how you performed? Do you think that went well? Do you beat yourself up if you got something wrong?
A little bit, you know, I just like, you know, there's nothing better. Well, there might be one or two things better, but generally speaking, there's not many things better than you've done a great gig and it's gone really well and you feel it's gone well. You know, that is a brilliant feeling, you know. And, you know, I'm not, most of the time, I feel that most of the time the gigs do go well, you know, being honest. Well, and so, I mean, that's why I do it. There'd be no other reason to do it.
Tell me a story about the time the gig goes bad. Has a gig ever went bad? Have you got any bad gig stories?
I can tell you some that hit. Like, for example, we played, I have to be careful what I say here, but we used to go over to Northern Ireland a lot. And Ireland's a brilliant place. You know, I'm essentially Irish. I used to have an Irish passport. My parents are Irish.
I'm getting one. I'm getting one next month.
Well, my brother and sister have got Irish passports now. The only reason I've kept a British one is if I go back to China to get a job as an English teacher for whatever daft reason, that's a better passport. But I know that I'm Scottish, actually. But anyway, we went over there and we played the West Belfast Festival. And like, for example, we were on the radio station and the slogan for the station was "A Station Once Again," you know. And I just get tired of getting ripped off. I don't know what it was in Ireland. You know, I love Ireland, but I've never been ripped off so many times in any country as in Ireland. So we were going over, and I was unemployed, and then I have to hire a van. I have to take 6 people over to Ireland and all that. So basically, it's costing me $1,000, and this is like it was like 1998, 99, and then we did the gig, and the gig went no bad. But then I went down to get paid, and the guy who's meant to be paying me, he's no there, you know. And so just get messed about, and then if it essentially just didn't get paid. So unfortunately for me, that's the last time I've gone over to Ireland. I dare say I'll be back, but you know that was the worst experience financially, you know.
The worst experience we had financially was going to Leeds. Leeds didn't pay us anything.
Right.
Nothing. Not even a drink for while I was on stage, which is the least you can expect.
Sure.
If you're doing a gig, I have a rule with that. I don't care. Like, if somebody's going on stage, give them a drink. It doesn't even be an alcoholic drink. It could be water, a soft drink. It's just about. I feel like somebody should be a stage manager, or if it's me, if it's my gig, I'll be the stage manager. That's listen. Hand someone a thing as they go on stage. I think it's
sure.
Just, but we didn't even get a pint. We didn't get 1 pint, and we travelled all the way down to Leeds from Knockengorrick. Aye, and yeah, but I can't. What you said, you can't go into that one either. I've got a better bit of that, but maybe keep that. We'll maybe keep these stories for the books. For the books, would you ever write a book, Hugh?
Yeah, I've kind of thought about it, and people have said, yeah, I've thought about it. I don't know how many people will be interested, but in fact, I've written some I've just written some chapter things, just almost for myself, just to remember things that happened, you know.
I started writing chapters for my band story years and years ago, and I've started trying to do it again because I feel like this is our last album coming out, and I'm hoping that we're going to go to Europe, and then maybe that kind of puts an end for now of that chapter, and just trying to like you said.
I've got friends in Germany, by the way. I'll put you in contact with them. A band over there. They used to really help us a lot in Europe, so I'll put you in contact with them.
That'd be great. It's the bucket list thing, because I mean the bucket list when we started was make a CD. So that's how long ago it was. It's probably 15 years ago. It was like I wanted to make a CD, and I wanted to play a festival, and I think I've ripped the arse out of both of them. So the third one was playing Europe. Just because
I haven't been back over to Europe now for I don't know. 15 years, but I remember Germany used to be brilliant. Germany did really, in the late 90s, the punk scene was kind of still going, and each small town had its own punk club. And I mean, we actually had a promoter that would get us, you know, gigs around Germany. So we used to have a brilliant time. We'd disappear, you know, we'd go through to Switzerland and stuff. We'd disappear for a month. We'd start off in Holland, and we had an excellent time, and you would get much better treated over there than we got treated here in the UK, you know.
Well, that's
At
what we were
that
talking
time.
about earlier on. That's what everybody says. I think I
Yeah.
stopped in the middle of saying that, but every single person that goes to France or Germany or Spain says they do treat you better. But that's, yeah.
Did you do any gigs in Mexico?
Well, I mean, technically, technically you could say that I played a gig in Tenerife as well, because my mate was hosting a kind of karaoke stroke. You know, he was playing covers, and we took the guitar off him and played some of our songs. But that doesn't count. I've realised that I could technically have played a few different countries, but what I want, the rule is, I don't care. It doesn't need to be busy, but it's got to be the full band. Otherwise, it doesn't count. Otherwise, I could just walk about doing open mic nights anywhere I wanted. So we need to be booked. We need to be on a flyer.
Of course, nowadays you just say that you're going on a holiday. Don't tell them it's a band that's playing or anything. That'll be far too much hassle.
I think the trick is, well, not the trick. I just think that you just don't refuse to take money. I think that the way, someone can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think, one, you can't take merch. That is, because basically if you take merch, you have to pay for all the merch as if you've sold it all. So if you're taking 50 t-shirts over, you need to give the government 50 t-shirts monies with.
Really?
Over. Yeah, then you get your money back once they count your t-shirts. It's an absolute shambles, man. But we wouldn't really be doing it for the money anyway, so it's like, I don't even think that we're established enough to be commanding big fees on the continent. But it would just be like, what we'd be looking for is our flights and our accommodation. And as far as I'm aware, I don't want to name anyone, but I know people who said that apparently if you're not making money, well, as in if you're not receiving financial reimbursement, then you're okay. We went to South Korea, and I'm not going to mention any bands anymore, just in case the Brexit police are watching. But just, it's as long as you're not taking financial reimbursement. But what they can do is they can put you up, they can pay for your flights, they can give you dinner, free drinks, I believe. But it's all about the money, because I think that the problem is, it's mainly the main issue is the tax thing. Who gets the tax money? Does the British government's not getting the tax? Everyone wants to cut the tax.
Well, the thing is, you know, even when we were going round, you still weren't making a profit on the trip. By the time you paid the petrol and the accommodation and all the different things, the food and all that, because we mostly did that in the 90s. We used to go over to Europe all the time in the 90s. And
yeah, so I think you said you were going away for a month, so I think it'd be quite a different thing that I'm looking at. I think what I would like to do is maybe go to a country for 3 days, so we could just fly over and maybe get public transport to the next gig, just doing it over 3 days, and then maybe taking a week off and then going somewhere else for 3 days. That would be my ideal way to do it. Also, I wouldn't get burnt out. I wouldn't have to worry about hangovers too much, because I would just be doing it for a couple of days. And that is the idea. Obviously, the issue that we would then have is either paying for guitars or instruments to get on the plane. But hopefully,
our ex-drummer, Russell, he never came back. You know, he's married and he's got a grown-up child now in Germany. We left him in southern Germany.
That's crazy. So like, that person would not exist had it not been for Hugh Reed and the Velvet Underpants.
That's true. And Max, our rapper, I used to call him Red Road Rapper, he ended up living in Germany for 7 years. It's always women that make these situations come about, you know, but why not?
Yeah, I was actually there's actually a few kids walking around now, either because of my band or because I've put nights on, and people have met each other through the gigs or whatever, or through introductions, even with the thing. It's quite mad, isn't it?
I hope no one's been murdered as a result of any of your gigs.
Oh, I don't know. Don't even say that. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. In my case, I don't think so either.
Well, don't tell me if you know something I don't. But yeah, Danny says, really enjoy Hugh's Beauty Story films. Let Hugh know Charlie Hepburn from Southside Music is coming along with us on Saturday.
Oh, that's great. Oh, Charlie's a great guy. You'll know Charlie as well, won't you?
Yeah, I think I know Charlie. I go into Southside Music sometimes to like.
I
sometimes
literally knew his dad. His dad was also called Charlie, you know.
Yeah.
Southside Music. That's always been a great shop, Southside Music.
I don't know if Charlie knows me, but because I usually just go in either to pick up plectrums or random bits and bobs, or put a flyer in or something. So, but yeah, it's a great shop, and we need more. We need more of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Paul says my liver took quite a while to recover from some of the epic lockdown specials. Yeah, I was looking back at some of the footage. It's quite mad. Cause I was wanting to make a wee edit of, like, you know, the story of YCTR for the 5-year anniversary, but there's just too much footage to go through. Maybe what I'll do is get some video footage of my face from 5 years ago, and then just see how my hair grows, because it gets really bad in 2020, 21. You know, you couldn't get a haircut. But because my face has changed every day and my hair changed every day, you're actually seeing 3 shows a day sometimes. So you can actually, if I could figure out a quick way to do it, we could just see my hair growing and my face getting fat.
There must be some AI app or something that you could put your different pictures in.
I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I want to throw...
No, I just mean AI that will show the changing sort of thing, not to create a false image, you know.
Yeah, I know. I'm just still not unsure. I'm unsure of AI. I'm unsure of it.
Well, I know. I don't trust it.
Well, I mean, Facebook, by the way, for anyone, I've noticed that Instagram and Facebook gave me an option to opt out of AI using. Hold on. For anybody who's interested, I'll actually just send you the link, because I think my advice would be to opt out of this thing. Where is it? Here it is. Here. So I'll show you what it is. The link is here. Hold on. But, right, so I'm just going to explain this. So, Facebook is doing a thing. Oh, hold on. It's here. So it's asking for your permission. So it's generative AI. Okay, let's just talk about sorry to change the subject. I'll be quick, but I just think they've been quite sneaky with this. Basically, you're getting a notification, and if you don't object, then they're just going to use your stuff anyway. So generative AI is not a database, but basically what it's doing is it's taking your public comments and your public statements. So basically everything you've done that's not private, and then it's very vague what they're doing with it, but it's to create something.
Oh, well, that means presumably that means that other people can then use it. You know what I mean?
Well, they can sell it. I don't know. I just don't like the way it's going, so I'll do the link again. Hold on. The link is this. The first one didn't work, but that one works. So it's facebook.com/privacy/Gen I. But what you do is you go to the bottom and the right to object here. So see that there? You click right to object, and then you object, and it's got you don't need to give them a reason. You just need to make sure it's your right email address that Facebook's connected with, and just object, man. I'm sure you'll be able to opt in the future if you want, but I've just got.
I would agree with you, because they'll be using that as part of their big database, you know.
Well, I think they're just wanting to teach machine learning, but I just feel like, I don't like it. I don't understand. I don't like it because I don't understand it.
It was funny. One of the refugees, it's a Ukrainian refugee, you know, she was applying for a job. And so she sent me a message, would I look over her job application? So she came in, and I was totally blown away by how well it was written. And I was going, that's totally fantastic. Don't know if I could do that. And I was thinking, this is someone that, you know, English is her second language. And then it turned out she'd used AI, you know, to fill in the application. And,
yeah, there was this, when we were in Mexico, there was a guy, who was he from? I think he was Italian. And he couldn't really speak English much. And then he gave us a review on whatever website we're using. I don't know if it was booking.com or Airbnb. And it was the funniest review ever. He said that we brought us so much fun that our Highland friends strolled into the night filled with fun and beer, and it was like a couple of paragraphs long, and I was like, that's amazing. What a lovely thing. And then I realised that it's definitely, he's asked Chat GPT for that. But there's good sides and bad sides. I'm not against AI in general. It's a tool. Like anything, it can be used for good and it can be used for bad.
But who knows where it's going to go, as they say, you know.
Like I said, I just don't trust what Facebook are going to use it for. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying I don't. It can be used for good, it can be used for bad, but what are Facebook going to use it for? So I'm just sort of staying away. But from that just now, Hugh, can I borrow an amp off you again?
I'm sure that'll be fine. I'll
No,
have to run that.
no,
but I thought there's going to be backline there. Is there not going to be
Backline's there.
backline?
Backline's there. I don't know if is he maybe talking about an old story?
Well, there is a story around that.
Yes, I think there's a story because, by the way, if any of the artists are watching, backline is provided.
But well, the story is, I started as a community music worker up in Royston, and at that time, the only piece of equipment we had was an amp. That was the only piece of equipment we had. And Joe was playing a gig at the hall, so I went along. And then I kind of left. I just left at the end of the gig.
Scotia. Fact check, Scotia.
So, and then, so I just presumed Joe will be bringing the amp home. So then it's like 2 weeks later, it's the next gig. And I'm going, oh, where's that amp? So I phones up Joe, and Joe goes, I thought you had it. So basically we lost the amp. It was the only piece of equipment that at the time Northern Rock had. Maybe we got it again. I can't remember. Yeah, but that's what happened.
We lost the drummer lost his expensive cymbals one time in Cosmopol, and he found somebody selling it on Gumtree. So we just went to meet him at the bars, and then we just took it off the guy. And the guy.
Well, I remember we played a gig up like in Tain or someplace. And then we played with this band, and then we had brought the drum kit up. So it's just weird like that. So then we went off and stayed somewhere. So then we goes back to the bar, and the drum kit's not there. And then in the bar, they said, oh, the drummer from the other band, he took it away last night. I think he thought we'd forgotten it or something. And I remember we had to drive up this for ages, drive through this country lane in the middle of nowhere, and we literally could hear the drums, Then he goes into this guy's cottage, go, excuse me, I think that's ours. He's lucky he didn't get his head kicked in, to tell you the truth.
It's this Saturday, room 2. It's come along. It's our birthday party, 5 years of You Call It. But I want to thank the patrons as well and the YouTube members for supporting this show over 5 years. It's amazing what we've been able to do in that time. Hundreds and hundreds of shows. I think I was trying to figure out how many shows we've done, but because so many were unlisted, and some of them I don't even know if you'd count some of them as shows. But we're talking about 1,000 shows, easy.
I mean, but honestly, got to hand it to you, Mark. That's your hard work. Well done.
And we got Gordy Duncan, Unholy Frankenstein, Brenda, Jinx Lennon, Hugh Reed, the Velvet Underpants, and we do have an after party. We've actually got 2 after parties. I just need to decide which one I want to go for. But that will be free entry for everybody who comes to the gig. So that starts at 10, I think, and it will be till at least 3 a.m. I'm not sure which one we're doing yet.
Sounds good.
But both one's open till 3, one might be open later than that. But we're going. There'll definitely be somewhere for us all to go to get a wee chat and a couple of pints, because obviously it's quite. When you're running about organising a gig and you're even just performing, you're just like, it's too much. You don't really get time to relax.
Yeah, for me, it's after the gig I can relax.
Exactly. I love chatting to people after the gig's done. So we can all just go somewhere and we'll get a pint and we can talk about stuff then. I've got one last act I've not played yet, is Gordy Duncan Jr. So I'm going to play end with a wee song from Gordy Duncan Jr. And I'll see you on Saturday, Hugh.
Right, see you Saturday, Mark.
Don't worry about the amp. Don't worry about the amp. The amp is the backline is provided. And is there anything else you want to shout out here? Actually, I went over. The last thing I wanted to pick up on was the Beauty Stories thing. I'll just get a link now to that. Can you tell people a little bit about the Beauty Stories?
Just sometimes I've got nothing better to do with my time here now. I've just made wee videos, Hugh Reed's Beautiful Beaut, just a sort of a guide with bad jokes and Beaut, basically. Okay, it's nothing that. It's just me wandering about with a camera, more or less. But there's a lot of wee interesting things on the island here. So you can check out my music videos and you can check out the Hugh Reed's Beautiful Beaut if you want.
I put the link in the comments if anyone's wanting to check it out just now. That'd be amazing. Well, thank you, Hugh. I'm looking forward to Saturday. I'm absolutely buzzing for it. So
I'm really looking forward to it as well, Mark.
The
Cool.
tickets are, you can get pre-order that you can discounted tickets are on Skiddle right now, and if you're a patron, there's a discount code. And also, if you're just genuinely skint but you really want to go, then just send me a message and we'll make sure you get in. We're just going to have a party, so I want you to be there, especially if you've been supporting.
And it's a good venue as well. That's the other thing.
And they've got the big screens, so remember to bring your logo, or if you want an image behind you. Have you got any ideas for that?
Oh, yeah, that's something I'll need to remember.
Have a wee think. Just bring it in a USB, and we'll get it behind the screens. If not, we'll just put some Call That Radio stuff in the background. And the night will start at 7 o'clock with the legendary Gordy Duncan Jr., who is playing his first Glasgow gig, and it must be about 4 or 5 years, maybe 6 years. So looking forward to that. The prodigal drummer is back. And thank you very much, Hugh Reed.
Okay. Right, see you then.
See ya. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Was Gordy Duncan. He'll be playing at the gig on Saturday. It didn't work, did it? Go? No, not wrong one. This one. A bit late, but aye. Yeah, Gordy Duncan will kick things off one more time this Saturday at Room 2. I hope to see you all there. Thank you to Hugh Reed. Thank you to Jinx Lennon. And thank you to Joe from Unholy Frankenstein for joining us, albeit briefly. And I'm excited for this. So hopefully see you on Saturday. And also, Gyro Babies have announced an album launch as well. I forgot to mention that. So, yeah, we're playing an album launch on March the 29th. But we'll talk about that another time. I'm going to go to the dentist. I better go because I'm going to eat some food and going to get to sleep and go back to the dentist tomorrow because I went a day early today and I'm fucking raging about that. Sorry for swearing. Bye.
Brothers and sisters. Is that you, Daniel? Are you before me?